Uh, I'll need sound. Okay. Hi everyone. I welcome you. Welcome to the iOS crew meetup, and we'll talk today about juniors, seniors, and how to get from the one to the other. And I have great guests today because it's one of the most senior people in the industry in Czech Republic. So. Right. So big applause for Patrik Potoček from Futured, to Lukáš Hromadník from Ackee, and my dear colleague Michal Svěrák from Applifting. My name is Philip, and I'll be guiding these three through the questions. So. Here is a QR code on the slides, and you can check your seniority level there because that's something we will orient when selecting the questions. And also there is a Q&A, so if you have any other questions which were not listed, then don't worry and just put them in. Okay, so guys, first question. It's not. It won't be even there because it's a warm up. So how many of you have been working with Objective C?
Should we raise hands?
You can, yeah. So all three, okay. And before the memory management. Okay, so that's about the seniority level we are going for today. So now the first question, and it would be great if you could one after other answer the question is, sorry, it doesn't working. So why do you guys consider yourself senior?
Ooh, a tough question for the beginning. I would say, for me personally, it's because I've been in the company the longest. Yeah, and then it's a lot of experiences you get along the way through different projects that you get to the final stages. So it's pretty much what I consider a senior, somebody who can deliver projects and has a lot of experience.
Yeah, I agree. I would say the same, but for me personally, it's the senior is the guy that can deliver the project the best, that can guide the juniors on the project and can share knowledge, speak on meetups, etc. Something like that.
Yeah, for me it's pretty similar. I have several projects behind me. I have a leadership with juniors, so I was a mentor once and stuff like that. And also I'm into Apple and iOS for 10 years right now. So yeah, I have some experience.
Okay, thanks. If we generalize the question a bit more, what makes a good senior developer? Like, how can you tell that person is a senior developer? You can go the other way.
This is a tough question. We always consider we gather feedback from other colleagues. It's always different if the person is at the interview, it's attending to the company, or if we are trying to evaluate somebody if he is senior. So we're trying to gather the feedbacks, we look at the code, and it's not only about the code, it's not only about the experience that he has on the project, it's also about the personality. So the soft and the hard skills, basically. Yeah. So, and we always evaluate that to our company needs and goals. So if the person has the gain for the company, is a senior, he's a senior.
Yeah, very great answer. Thanks.
If you don't have anything to add, you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. But I would say if the person has a good personality and has a lot of great soft skills and life experience, then learning the hard skills is usually pretty easy in the end. But getting the right people to be able to work with others, help them, take ownership of the projects, be a good body for the client. Those are, and being well organized. Those are some of the hard things that you learn along the way with more and more experiences. But the hard skills, how Combine works, well, you can learn that over a weekend. It's nothing that crazy.
Okay, thanks. But it's not always perfect, is it? Even for senior developers. So what did you guys do in the last month that you aren't particularly proud of and would think that good senior developer wouldn't do that? You can have a minute to think about it. Also in the audience, you could think about this because it's a very good exercise. So.
Yeah, cool. I can start. For me personally, it's time management. I struggle with it a lot, and basically I have a lot of responsibility throughout the team, throughout the company. I have to deliver some, let's say, task on the project, and then I have to take care also take care of my colleagues, and to combine these two very heavily time heavily. Yeah, let's try another thing. To combine these two parts of the team leader role in the team is really hard. And for me, the transition from, let's say, normal programming guy to team leader, I really struggled with it a lot, with the time management, and that's something I'm not proud of, because yeah, for me it's very hard to transition.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, because me myself, I'm a team lead in future, like for 1 month right now. So, yeah, so that's so very similar. The transformation to dealing more with people than code is it's different, right? But if you ask me, like, for the seniority of in the hard skills, soft skills, like, I know that I don't know anything still. I'm still learning. There's still a new technology there. So what got me thinking, I don't know, maybe, yeah, the time management is one thing, but for me, it's I have my head all over the place. I'm too focused on too many things, and not trying to, like, focus on one thing and does not interrupt the other things. Like, somebody wrote me and I just told what I'm doing and try to do the other stuff. So I'm struggling with this as well. So I try to, like, make notes, make more, like, task management, and write everything down and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a recurring theme. The time management. This is the worst part of it all, because you're switching all the time in between, like, focus on a project, writing a good code, and then there's a lot of people who need your help and your attention, and you're trying to be as responsive as possible because they really struggle. They're maybe stuck on a project. You don't want to, let them wait. But then, like, your code, of course, suffers. So, like, the moment I had, well, I would say it was last week, was when I was trying to finish some signing and, like, finished some code really quickly, and I was like, well, I have to get this pull request done today. So I was, like, super tired, but I, like, finished it. I wanted to go ride my bike, so I finished it super quickly. And then there were, like, emails like pim, 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 and I was like, wow, what the fuck just happened? So I looked, and it was like, there were, like, comments from, like, much more, like, junior guys that, like, oh, well, this space is not there, and here you forget a weak self, and you were supposed to do it this way. And I was like, oh my god. Yeah, but yeah, happens to everyone.
Thanks for great answers. I mean, most of you who aren't senior, I think you can, like, imagine that path to seniorship isn't something which has an end, because there's always something to learn. And guys, keep calm. After 8 years of leading a company, I still struggle with exactly the same issues you have. So I hope for you it will get fixed, but I don't see a way. Okay, so to the next question. What is the thing that someone in your team can do to tell you they are not a senior developer? Like, what fuck up they could do that would tell you that they are not senior?
Yeah, for me, this is definitely not taking ownership of stuff. So if I see somebody blaming somebody else, blaming the client, blaming other developers, blaming the circumstances, blaming anything, that's the sign. Like, for me, senior should be taking ownership of his situation or her situation and should be doing something to improve it. So if there is something I don't want to implement because the designer didn't do a great job, then I should be the first one to raise hand and ask, like, how can we improve this? How can we save money to the client? How we can make this feature better? That is yeah, what I'm looking for, like people who are responsible and yeah, really take care.
Okay, so for me is when the person does not see the whole picture of the project, when he only sees his part of the project and doesn't see the other parts there, doesn't see what really the clients want, doesn't see what the designer do, and he does not think in the way that, okay, maybe this guy meant something there, so I will ask him, and not just blindly do it or something like that. So yeah, seeing the whole picture of the project is definitely something that is a characteristic of a senior guy. So he knows the whole project, the whole process, and the reason why we are doing this.
Great.
Okay, I will add one more thing. For me, it's yeah, we call it in Ackee, we call it like snipers, because they're like in their own, I don't know, space mindset. They are doing just the one thing. Yeah, maybe it's the whole picture. So basically, guy is not a senior if he's not helpful to the team. He's not trying to help others to become better. Yeah, basically that, and all what Kai said. Yeah.
All great points. Something to focus on. Okay. So, what is the worst thing about being a senior, and what is the best thing about it? And you can go on, Lukáš.
Okay. The worst thing, I think, taking the responsibility. That's maybe the part of the team leader role. It's really hard to being responsible for the whole team. When the team fucks up something, you have to take the shot for it. And for me, it's still changing the mindset from the programmer to the team leader, that I sometimes like trying to hide behind the previous team leader, but he's not there. So yeah, for me, it's the mindset to changing from the like I'm coding something and yeah, someone will I don't know, correct me, or someone from QA will find the bug so I can fix it. But right now I like I should take I should deliver 200% code. Like small mistakes I can do, but yeah, I'm really trying. You should try as a senior to deliver the best possible code you can. So yeah, that's the worst thing. And the best thing I think is maybe the money. I don't know. Yeah.
Honest answer. That's great.
Yeah, I would almost see the opposite way. The best thing about the senior role is actually having the responsibility, actually being able to change people's lives, being there for others, being there, able to help them grow. And then often you see yourself in the juniors and you want to help them grow, and you want to be the mentor that you were missing. So this is what I love about it. But the worst thing is that people usually expect you to know answer to everything. Like they have some bugs, there is something super crazy, and they like kind of expect you. I will call Michal, he will come here, we'll fix it in 5 minutes, even though I've been looking into it for a whole day, and it will be fine. And I tell them, well, I will have to Google this as well, and it's like da-da-da-dum-dum. So not so senior, this guy.
Oh, so sorry, Lukáš, would you like to add something to that, because that's quite the opposite?
Yeah, actually, I would like to add that to being a mentor is a very good thing. I like really to look down to the juniors and help them guide through their life. So yeah, that's like for me the best thing for the seniority.
Yeah. So I would just combine the two things, because I think the best and the worst thing is being responsible. That's just it. Is the best and the worst thing, because on one hand you have the power to change something, and you have people who are looking up to you, and you make some decisions and stuff. But yeah, the responsibility, you take your job home, and it's not only about the team leads, or I think it's the same with a hardcore programmer. As a senior, you have to be responsible for a project, and if you take this, then that's the worst thing. They're all not worst, but at least for me, I take my job home, and that's something that I want to get rid of. So that's the worst thing about this.
Okay, thanks. Great answer. So I see that the major thing about being a senior is responsibility, and some view it as a good and some view it as a bad thing. Okay, so we are blazing through the questions. So we are getting to the second topic, which is education, mostly education of juniors. So what forms of education can juniors get, and which do you think are most valuable?
Yeah, so the first thing and what I think is the most valuable thing is the mentoring. If you have somebody who you can ask, and it's something what was a game changer for me, because before I entered Future, I worked at a company that was just a few people, and we didn't really have any iOS talks, iOS meets. We didn't do code review and stuff like that. So I thought I knew something, and then I entered Future, and I don't know really that much. So yeah, the mentorship is, I think, the best thing and the most valuable thing. But still, the mentors can't really do the push-ups for you. You have to still like work. And then yeah, and the sharing of the knowledge in the company maybe is the greatest thing. But there are plenty other things. You can have hackathons, hackathonize. You have like these regular one-on-ones with your team leads and stuff. So there's a lot of things how you can increase the education. So, but the mentorship is maybe the most valuable, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I can add.
Part of the question is what other forms there are. So maybe you can list a few more.
Okay, so I can see it from the Ackee side here. For our juniors, we teach a course in FitTude, so we can share the videos there. We record everything, so the juniors can really go through all videos, can learn from us. We also get some feedback, so we can also improve the lessons there. So that's really great, and also some paid podcasts of all sorts of good developers doing some podcast videos. They have some great projects of their own that are freely and public on GitHub. So really very nice way is to trying to understand someone else's code. That way you learn a lot. And yeah, mentorship, videos, Stack Overflow is a very great resource. I can add that. Yeah, it's our Bible. Yeah, that's exactly. Also.
Okay, so the conference is stuck with me. Yeah, but I would say like the most valuable thing is like having good mentors and then having good like colleagues on a project, having like good code reviews. Like this is the point I cannot stress enough. Like if you work on a project with more developers, have good code reviews. This is the way you learn the most, because you are, like showing your code to somebody else on a daily basis, and this helps you grow like so much. Because like, yeah, I cannot even imagine like living without code reviews now. But actually, when I started, like this was not the norm in the industry. So I would be working with other guys on a project, but it would be kind of like, well, we trust each other, so we don't have to test each other. So, but it's like, well, this is not that way, like, of course. So.
Okay, I would like to add one more thing to this. Don't be afraid to get your code reviewed by someone else. That's really great way. And also don't be afraid to ask questions about someone else's code, because very often juniors are like very shy. They are not so pushy. They don't want to ask questions, but with those questions, you can learn a lot, because you get that's like the mentorship again. You get the answers from the more senior guy there, and he can help you understand what's going on under the hood. So don't be afraid to ask and to get your code reviewed.
Yeah, and you can even approve the pull request, but you can still have some questions there, and the other developer will most likely answer those. Just don't ask a question and then do a change request.
Yeah, it has been said, but the code review is not just to review the code, but also if a junior makes a code review to a senior, at Future we do this thing that the mentor always points out the thing that he should check, and it's by checking the code you are also learning. And that got me to any idea of something like that, having access to different kinds of project repositories in an agency. So you have lots of all the projects you have access, and you can like just check it and learn from that, learn how because we are not doing we are not inventing a wheel all the time. All the things that we do have been done before, and somebody did them. So you can check, and having this access to this project, I think, is really, really valuable.
Thanks a bunch. Anything else you would like to add? No, perfect. Okay, thanks. So the next question is that what mistakes do juniors do often, which stall their progress, and how to fix those mistakes?
So once again, don't be afraid to push your code and to get the code reviewed. And I think the shyness there is really, really something that you have to get rid of. That's really blocking you from the grow. And I forgot the second part.
You'll get to it.
Yeah, I would say that the number one mistake that I see the most, even with the senior guys and with the media guys, is that we are sometimes too much fixated on our productivity. We are trying to push too many tickets, deliver too many features, and we think that the more features I do, the more tickets I do in the sprint, the better developer I am. But we should take our members, set them down and tell them, look, I'm not looking for 10,000 tickets, but I'm looking for a code quality. We are not McDonald's, we're a Michelin star restaurant. So what we want to do is we want to have some great stuff, and if you want a cheeseburger, then you have to go elsewhere.
Yeah. The thing that I would add is that you shouldn't be afraid of doing mistakes. Make a mistake. I think it's more valuable if you make a mistake, if you think about it, you thought about some issue, you solved it, and then if your mentor or somebody will explain you why the other thing is better, I think this is a great gain in experience. So don't be afraid to fall.
Thanks, Patrik. Lukáš, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted, trust the process of learning. You will learn everything. If you have great team, a great team leader, great colleagues, you will learn everything with some amount of time. So don't be afraid to make mistakes and trust the process. That's something from me.
Okay, thanks. So, soft skills. That's something which is not really iOS related, but it's very much senior related. So, how do you do it? How do you train soft skills? Or, sorry, rather the question should be do you train soft skills? And if yes, how?
I would say we are currently trying quite hard. Our HR is doing a pretty good job with that. We are now having some pretty cool workshops and stuff that are focused on soft skills. Sometimes it feels actually pretty boring for me to be there, but but it builds pretty great sense of community. We usually have the workshops in a group of 10, 15 people, and we do share a lot of examples from our day-to-day life at work, which helps a lot, because then you can hear experiences of others, and that helps you a lot with your own soft skills as well. So we are trying to do the workshops and then share the experiences.
We have a different approach, I would say. We are making the soft skills more personalized. So basically, if the person has some kind of problem, or he or she needs to improve if some part of the soft skills spectrum, he can go to me. He can go for me and ask me, how can I help? Can you help me with this? And I will go to our HR, and we will prepare some lessons, workshops, etc., whatever, to improve the soft skills of that particular person. We don't use company-wide workshops. It's really personalized for their needs, what they need, and
Quite frankly, we don't do this. We don't educate people on soft skills anyhow. If the thing is that anybody who wants some workshop, and if a person approaches us that, okay, I think my soft skills should need an upgrade, we are really welcome to find the workshop for him and to pay for it and everything. But we didn't have the need so far. And I think the people or the developers are increasing their soft skills by gaining more responsibilities in the project. So if you have to talk with the client, if you have to do a presentation in English or in Czech, that it doesn't matter. I think it still improves some of these skills. So yeah, it's similar to work, but we didn't have the need to improve it in a way. For example, nobody has this like requirements to go on a workshop with a soft skill, something like that. So maybe we are lucky that we have a good soft skill people.
Yeah, I think I get your point, though I think that it's really hard to work in software development and not improve your soft skills. So I think that in the wider sense, even for example retrospectives or one-on-one with team leads do also count. So I'm certain you do some soft skill development. You just don't do it in a structured way, which is fine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We have the regular meetings. We have the iOS meetings when each member will prepare something and present. So we have something like this, but I'm not really calling it a training or something like that. We don't really do it like in the focus of improving a soft skill, but it will stick to you on the way.
Right. But you guys agree that soft skills are important, or is there anyone who disagree? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think it makes sense because it's really hard to get to the senior level without at least some soft skills. Okay, so what do you think you could do better in terms of education? No, that's a spicy question.
Send all the people to that WWDC or something like that. You know, buy the most expensive conferences or something like that. Now there's definitely something, but let me think about it.
Yeah, I think the best thing is that first of all you pay an hourly wage to people for doing their educations on their project or on their own. So you kind of support them. Tell them, well, in your work day you can spend some time learning stuff that you need, and this is fully covered by the company, which in Applifting it is. So that's the first thing I would say.
Sorry, Michal. The question is, what do you think you could do better?
What you could do better? Oh, I thought like what you can do to learn better.
No,
oh.
What you can do better.
Oh.
Take a second. It's okay.
Okay, so I think that maybe more active thing. Like we have all these like benefits. Like okay, if you have some library, if you have some software that you want to buy, you can approach us and we will buy it for it. But we don't really seek for it. And quite frankly, nobody or very few people came to us with this request. Like they want to buy this book or this course or something like that. So maybe this is something that we want to, or we need to maybe do it a little bit more actively and regularly.
Thanks.
I think we can do better, like pushing the people from their comfort zones, because like staying in one comfort zone, being lazy, it's not gonna teach you anything. So like being more productive, pushing them to speak on some meetup, conferences, whatsoever. But yeah, so yeah, being more proactive, and trying to push them. Yeah, I think that's what we can improve.
Yeah, I would say we can encourage people to move to another projects. Like sometimes we have people who are super comfortable in their project. They have been there for a year, for two, or even more. We can encourage these people to take new, more interesting projects with new technologies, maybe to leave the UI kit behind and move to something with Swift UI. And, it's not going to be pretty at the beginning, but yeah, so this is what we can do.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. And now I have another very spicy question for you, which is, who is the most senior iOS developer of you guys? Yes, of you.
Hey, it's of course Lukáš.
Thank you. I think it's Patrik.
Okay, it's me. No.
But
No, I'm just joking, right? It's obviously Michal.
anyway, you didn't know, but I've got a special surprise for you, because we're going to find out. Bear with me for a second. I'll just take this one because this isn't too mobile. And please take out your phones. Is it? Would you like to borrow mine? You could also join, guys. Interesting thing is, I returned from Portugal yesterday, and for the most skilled iOS developer in the room, I have a very special gift, which is a bottle of port. So I hope that the most senior person will be over 18 years. And if you are all ready, are you guys ready? Anyone is joining still? We can start. I don't know if you know the rules, just press the right buttons, that's it. And do you guys see? Okay, perfect. So, who's the seniorest iOS developer? So the first question is a quiz one. How many apps are there in the App Store? Oh, most people can't see. It's 100,000, 2 million, 20 million, or 100 million. 100,000, 2 million, 20 million, 100 million. Yeah, I think we'll do exactly this, yeah. It's 2 million. Well, it's not exactly 2 million. It's about 1.9 million or something. But it's getting there. So, yeah. You're overly optimistic, you know that. Anyway, next question. We have, how many characters is the NS log limited by default? It's an iOS quiz. Nice. I didn't expect these many good answers. So did you guys ever experience this? Like that you print the variable, and log the variable, and it's just too long. You can increase it. Anyway, next question. Megaborets. It's truly a megaboret, yeah. So the next quiz. When was the first iPad announced? I think we all know about the iPhone, right? That's the most obvious question. But how about the first iPad? I think it was around the iPhone 4, I believe. Yeah, it was January 27th, 2010. It took 3 years to make the iPhone larger. Who's Bazusho? Nice one. Name the blue device, there'll be an image. I suppose some of you have solved issues with screen sizes, right? Sometimes the constraints just don't cut it. Oh no, it's iPhone 12, yeah. And by the way, iPhone 12 and 12 Pro are the same size. I did. They are terrible, I know. Oh, Michael. Who's Michael? Perfect. I was hoping it was our Michael, but never mind. Okay, the NS prefix in some classes. What is it? I know which one it uncovers, which is the last one. Oh no, native standard. Almost half of you. So, by the way, quick trivia. And Next Step or Next Step OS was a company or product that was created by Steve Jobs prior he returned to Apple. So that's where it came from. Okay, we have the integer overload. Who's that? Oh, nice. So multi-select. What will be the name of the next M1 chip? Two M1 Ultra chips glued together. You can select multiple. Well, I didn't know, so I just checked all of them. So, good job, everyone. Good job. Jarda, nice. Who's Jarda? Jarda, nice. Last but one. So, how many senior developers does it take to change the light bulb? Nobody. Well, it's 0. Does anybody know why? Okay, so let's look at the results. And the third place goes to Bezusho. Very nice. The second place, Jarda. Nice. And the first place is Martin S. Who's Martin S? Nice. Come here on the podium. Okay, so everyone, here Martin is the most senior developer in the room, so you should treat him with proper respect when we start the break, which will be in about 5 seconds. So here we go. Enjoy. And you all have a nice time to take something to eat, drink something, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes with 2 more topics, which will be, I think, sorry, I forgot. One of them was, sorry, I'll have to look at my notes. Sorry, so one of them was hiring, and the other one was project leadership, or rather project management, depends what company culture you're in. So, see you in 10 minutes. Hi everyone. We will start, so please take your places. And I invite speakers to the stage yet again. Okay, so I would like to say that we've pretty much covered the seniority and the education so far, but there are some relevant questions on the Slido, so we'll get to them at the end of the discussion. And we shall continue with the next topic. And do you guys remember what it was? It was hiring, yeah. So, everybody's hiring, I believe. So, are you guys all hiring? Are you looking for developers? Yes, yes, yes. 3 yeses, right? So,
Yes, we are hiring. Please come to Ackee. Thank you.
You don't want to sound too desperate. So, how do you tell the level of the developer while hiring? And Michal has the microphone, so maybe he should start, I think.
Yeah, actually, we had a discussion about this during the break with Lukáš, and I can tell you, if you are looking for a new job, don't go to Ackee. They're super hard. It's so outdated the way they do things. It's super hard. So, but in Applifting, what we do is that we have a good test project that we give you, and then we don't ask you for stuff like what is the difference between frame and bounds, what is the difference between struct and a class. No. We discuss the project with you, so the code you actually wrote, not something you remember from Wikipedia or elsewhere.
Yeah, before you start fighting, just stick to the topic, and you can fight afterwards outside.
I think from what Michal said during the break, the hiring process is very much the same. He also asks questions like, what's the difference between frame and bounds? What's the difference between struct and class? So yeah, it's really the same. And we also have the test task. So to tell the level of the developer seniority during the hiring is basically to ask questions, which is sorted by the seniority or how hard they are, and based on the test task or some GitHub profile, so projects on GitHub. Yeah, and that's it basically. You don't know the seniority until the person is in your team and you're speaking to him and he's working on the project. So it's really like gamble. Yeah, it's really hard to determine the seniority level. Okay.
Great answer, but still, I would like you to be a bit less vague. So, what are you looking for when you are browsing the projects? Someone else can answer. It's okay.
Yeah, I was just teasing Lukáš. The process is pretty much the same for both companies. Just to be clear, guys. What I'm usually looking for is like if the developer wrote some code into the test project, how well can he explain it? Does he know even not the how, but also the why? Like, why was this code there? Why is it there? How does it work kind of beneath? Because a lot of smart code has been copied from elsewhere and it works super well. But if you cannot explain it, then that is pretty strange.
Okay, so I will try to answer the first question. Usually we ask them how they feel as a developer. Like, okay, so, and 90% will tell you exactly what they are. We have a really few cases that somebody will like over evaluate itself. So yeah, usually we ask them, and then yes, we consider like the code. We're looking for the form how we communicate. So if he wrote us that okay, it's gonna be on Friday still no answer, that's some sign for us. So we evaluate something like that. And then we look on the code. If he just put it in a zip file and attach it to the mail, or if he like open a Git repository or something that's added, that's some what value that they add. So we are looking for something like this. And because also like, yeah, you can check like, does he use some architecture, what kind of asynchronous method he uses and stuff, but that is something that can be easily learned. So yeah, these things, how he is as a person, how he evaluates himself, it's the key pointer, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. If someone breaches deadlines even before you hire them, that's a significant red flag. Anything you would like to add?
Basically, we are looking for the soft skills. The hard skills are really easy to learn. You can learn it everywhere. So for us, the most valuable person is something with the company spirit that will fit in, and the hard skill will come later.
Great answer. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So the next one, what is the bare minimum you expect in an interview? Like, what's the like lowest skill set you can hire? Absolutely lowest skill set you can
I think
imagine.
that really depends on the position you are hiring for.
I'd say it would be a junior or trainee level position.
Yeah, I would say what we are most looking for is the soft skill set. Like, so if we know that somebody would be a good fit for us, like we would be happy to work with him or her on our team, then and he or she is eager to learn, then we are pretty much open to hire anybody. But you know, if you don't know any iOS development, then it would be a trainee, and we will help you to grow. If you know at least something, then it probably be a junior, and we will help you. But it really depends on the situation.
Okay. Any other constraints?
Constraints?
Any other limitations?
To what?
To who would you hire?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. So I don't think hire trainees, like we really don't like target this group of people. We're really trying to get at least some technical education, at least some very small little. You can do very great things afterwards with the mentors we have. So the bare minimum is really the company fit with the soft skills and also some technical knowledge, at least small one.
Yeah, for us, it's the cultural fit as well. That's like the bare minimum. If you pass the interview with our CEO, then you're like hired, usually. It's hard to pass it. But the cultural fit and the drive, I think, is the most important thing. If you see that the person is willing to do some extra steps, and we did hire, for example, we had a tester that with no experience, and we trained him to be an iOS developer, and he's developing with us right now. So yeah, the bare minimum is the cultural fit. Without it, it's not possible.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks. So the next question, I think it will be a spicy one. Oh, it's a light spicy. There'll be a better one. So what's the most awkward thing someone did on an interview with you?
I had only few interviews, but I heard stories.
Go on.
One time we had a guy who just came late. That's like the first thing, you came late, but it's still okay. But he was stinky as hell, and he even asked for a break for a smoke twice during the interview. So that was like the first thing, and yeah, he really smelled like cigarettes, right? Obviously. So this is something like awkward, or I don't know what to say, something else. But we usually had a good candidates, but there are some examples like this.
Those are the digital nomads?
Excuse
Those are
me?
the digital nomads?
Digital nomads, I don't know what that means.
Just something I heard, never mind.
Yeah, actually, I can share the most awkward situation, because when I share it, you can pretty much point at the guy, because he's so specific with the thing he's doing during the interview. So I don't want to like.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't have any stories like that. Like, we usually have really nice people and they get filtered before me. Maybe our HR is too afraid of somebody like that putting into one room with me or something. But I'm only getting nice people who are well behaved.
Okay, I expected more answers. So, Patrik, do you have any more nice stories for us?
Nice stories.
Nice stories. Or is there perhaps someone in the audience from the HR experience with something they would like to share?
This lady looks like she knows something.
Okay, just bring the microphone.
There are so many stories.
Just share one.
I'm trying to remember at least one that would be worth sharing as like a really special one, but there are so many. It just went through my mind and I was blacked out by it, so I don't know if I'm the right person to say it, but okay, let me think. Maybe okay, well, I don't know if it's like funny, but it's more like really awkward and hard. It's when people, it was just a recent one, when people start crying during the interview, and you're like, you just come in there with like the full drive, the full Ackee spirit. You're just like, okay, let's do this. Let's get you hired. And then the person just, you're like, so how are you? How was your day? And then the person is like, oh well, my day was pretty okay, but my boyfriend left me 2 days ago, and she just starts crying like crazy. And then you're like, there with the whole energy being like, okay, so what can we do for you right now? Like, what is, like, do you want to reschedule? Like, what is it that we're gonna do? And then, yeah, usually, like, what I do in those moments is that I start talking about, like, something totally unrelated, and I start sharing some of my crazy stories, so the person somehow, like, gets shifted with the mindset to, like, elsewhere, and then we managed to continue, actually. So, and then she said that it was, like, an amazing interview, and she was okay. But those are the awkward things. It's, like, usually there's something that you just don't expect at all to happen, I feel like, and then it kind of blows you away. But there are so many stories. I will write a book one day.
Thanks a lot. Good recruiting that one. So take a hint. Don't cry on the interview. Okay, guys. So another question. How do you know how much money can you offer? And I know that might be too specific for some companies. So if you don't want to answer, you don't have to, or you can answer vaguely.
Yeah, this is actually pretty easy because we in Applifting have open salaries. So we have an actual competency model which tells you if you're junior, senior, whatever, in between, and there is a given number we can offer you. So we already know, based on the seniority on the interview, we already know how much money we can offer you, and that's pretty much it. And
I'll kind of use my internal knowledge of Applifting to ask you a spicier question. Do you tell the people on the interview the amount?
No.
Why?
Well, because there's always like more people at the interview, and we want to like think about this some more and then approach them with an offer, maybe. Because sometimes we can give you an extra money for leading a team, maybe knowing a second technology. There are like different places where we can give you some bonus or where we see some potential. And this can be part of the negotiation with the person. So if we really want somebody, we're trying to, do our best to find the best offer.
Good answer. Okay, next.
Yeah, for us is based on the seniority level. From the task, from the questions on the interview, and also from the pre-screening process during the hiring process, where the people or the person gives us the amount he would like to make. And yeah, basically at the end of the interview, I have some picture of the seniority of the person, and then I try to fit into the team, and based on the position into the team, I'm trying to determine the right price to have it like linear, function for the money. Yeah.
So it's similar with the seniority. We ask them how much they want, and of course we have also like intervals of salaries for each seniority level, and we try to like, yeah. So based on the seniority, we can evaluate if it's too much, if it's okay, and it's always about agreement. So individual approach, we don't have any like this table competency models that what you have to know in order to be here or here. So we don't have nothing like that, but we have some description or some vague description of what the company really needs you to be on this or this or this level.
Mm-hmm. An additional question. You don't have competency models, so I suppose that's on purpose. So why do you view the competency models as inadequate, or what are the disadvantages of having them?
Yeah, we don't want to. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I didn't see your competency model, so I don't want to like hate on your model or something like that. But we just don't want to have a table of things you have to know. So if you are a senior, you have to push certificates. You have to know how to configure in-app purchases. We don't want anything like that, because we encourage wide diversity of skills. We don't want to round the people to have the same set of skills. We want them to encourage them to what they are interesting but still needs to be valuable for the company. So we don't want to limit somebody who's not really into something to, okay, you can't be a senior because you are not achieving this, but he doesn't even want this, but he is great at, I don't know, security. He's great at security, he's a senior level at there. So we don't want to have like these constraints of tables, okay, so we put you here and you can't really go here until you know this. So it's always about individual approach with the person.
Okay, thank you very much. By the way, just a tip for you guys. We've been researching something which is called a buffer model for a few last months, and we don't use that for developers right now, but we use that for support people, and it works pretty well, and we think about adopting it. So it might be an interesting thing to look into, because it's something between having a competency model and don't having a competency model. We can talk about it later on. It's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, I actually have a follow-up question to this. What do you do in order to make this fair for the company? So imagine you have two different guys. They're both like kind of meteors. But so in our company, they already know they have pretty much the same amount of money. But in your scenario, is it also your negotiation skill? Do you have to talk to your team lead and kind of persuade them to give you more money, or how do you, take care of the fairness in the team?
And remember, you don't have to answer if it's uncomfortable.
No, it's okay. So the question is how a person can get a raise, or what, or
how do you make it fair for the whole team?
We have okay, so this is kind of a little bit to the zone I shouldn't talk about a bit, but
in that case, let's maybe talk about it later on, and yeah.
but we're trying to make sure so it's fair. We don't want to somebody to have great amount of money and some other guy have low. So we have the intervals, we have some boundaries there, but that's what I say.
Okay, thank you very much.
But maybe I have a question on the competency model.
Sure, go on.
Yeah, because I'm curious, how do you evaluate that the person really gained the knowledge of something?
It's really hard, and it's something we struggle with. No, it's basically what you said about not having competency models. It's definitely something we struggle with, because when you have competency models, it's really hard as a mentor not to go tick, 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 and okay, does he know how to use Bluetooth Low Energy? Let's find out, make an app. But it's a waste of time, isn't it? So we are trying to somehow normalize this, and it's a problem. We are dodging one at a time, and we had a major rework of iOS competency model a while ago. It was 2 years ago something, and we kind of nailed that down by making the model more vague, which kind of defies the purpose. But yeah, it's ongoing struggle, and it's a living organism, and it changes all the time. So
yeah, because we tried something like that, and it wasn't really working for us, the skill metrics or something. But we didn't know how to evaluate this if he didn't really do it on some project. We didn't know how to know if he knows it or something and we thought funny, like, okay, so should we give him a test or something like that? And we don't want to do that, so it's still on the individual approach. And usually the developers can evaluate themselves truly and not trying to be like a show off or something like that. So we ask you, if you are a senior, you are a senior. And usually people say, no, I don't think I'm a senior. So there's not a problem.
Thanks. Do you guys want to add something?
Yeah, I would just add to the evaluation. So I'm a mentor of a couple of developers, as you can imagine. And what I'm trying to usually do is to ask them to study some material and then have like a nice discussion, like where do you see a pitfalls with, using core data here? How would you do a migration? And like trying to bring more experience into it. So like not making it a test, but making it like a learning session where we like discuss the different approaches. Maybe I share where I already used it on a project and where it could be used, or some issues we already had with that in the past. Yeah. And then I'm looking for some knowledge where they can pick up in case they would get a project with that. Then they already know something, but it's like, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We got pretty deep, didn't we? So let's get back up and wrap up the hiring process and go with the team leading or project management questions. And the first one is, how does an ideal team look? You have the microphone, Michal, so you start. Let's say the customer has unlimited resources. Like, how does the ideal team look?
I'm so sorry.
Limited resources?
Unlimited resources, like infinite amount of money. I want my app, just give me a team. Exclusively iOS app.
Yeah, I would say this is not about money, but this is more about like the soft skills again, coming back at the soft skills. But this is like if you have a team that can really work well together and can help each other, then this is the most important thing for me. So the ideal team is a team where there's a trust and where people can work together. Yeah, I would say.
Yes, I think there are more perspectives to this. You can have it like ideal team from the company, ideal team from the client side, ideal team from, I don't know, like between team, I don't know, group side. So there are like many perspectives to it, and I think that the like most valuable things are trust, some drive, and maybe knowledge sharing, eager to learn, help each other. So there are like a lot of perspective how to have a look at it.
How about seniority wise? Would you have like all seniors or juniors, something in between?
I can give you a look how we do it. So from the perspective of our company, we do it like one senior and one junior on the project. So the senior can oversight the thing. He knows very well the technical background on the project. He can help the junior to grow, learn some technology there. And also when there is like only one senior, there is one voice that is speaking and not two, not like maybe some argument or discussion that's only on the team, between the teams. This is argument. So there is no arguing. That's really badly said. So to answer the question, from my side, it's one senior and one junior. That's like the best approach we can do.
Thanks a lot. Patrik?
Yes, if you ask me, I think that, well, it always depends on the client, but what I can tell, the ideal team is when they have worked together for at least 2 years or something like that. Like if you're working together on a team for a long time, I think you all like get used to it, to know the styles and stuff. So that's one aspect. If the teammates work together for a longer period, I think that's really ideal. The seniority, I think, okay, you have to have some, you can't really have it just juniors, but if you have unlimited resources, you can have like one senior and juniors and how many would you want. But the ideal thing, for example, if you have somebody who is talking with the client who has a technical background, is something that is really valuable, I think, on the projects. So yeah, somebody who creates the task, somebody who take care of writing, take care of the Jira and stuff like that. So yeah.
Thanks, great answer. I can definitely vouch for the technical person on the client side.
You're hired.
Anyway, the next question, which I'm not entirely sure how relevant it is, because I had a brief chat in the polls and have a slight feeling it might not be relevant, is what is the difference between project management and project leadership for you? Like, what do those two words mean to you? Like management and leadership.
So in Ackee we don't use project leadership, so that's something I don't know. I don't know how to use it. And project management is basically the not technical guy leading the project. This is he's the main guy talking to the client. He's making the decisions. He's creating the tickets. He's giving us work. So yeah, that's the project management. Also planning, grooming, yeah, etc. And project leadership, I have no idea how to use it.
Sorry, if you take a step back and just compare the terms management and leadership, like just management and leadership, what would be the difference for you?
So management is, I would say, the hard skill, like creating the tickets, giving us work, communicating with the client, and leadership is helping others understand the bigger picture.
Nice answer.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would say like a management position is when somebody tells you that this is your position, like you should do this. You are now the manager of the team. You're supposed to take care of the tickets, make sure that everybody has enough stuff to work on. You communicate with the client. Being a leader is something anybody can tell you you're a leader now. You just become a leader for the team by leading from the front, like being up front, helping the team, being an inspiration and like showing the directions to the team. So that's the kind of way that I would see this.
Interesting view. Patrik?
Yes, I think that project management is usually done by a project manager. So he's making all the meetings, is responsible for the meeting notes and stuff like that, talking with the client. And the leadership for me is somebody who decides the solutions, the architecture, the technologies that's going to be used on that project. So that's for me is the leadership of that project. Or in our company, it works this way, that there's a leader of the project and there's a project manager. And project manager manages the team, keeping it syncs, and the leader decides the big technical questions and what should be a priority to do and in which order should be this done and stuff like that.
Thanks, amazing answer. So I have two more questions prepared for you, and then we'll go to Slido. So the next one is, what is the lowest skill level you ever had in your team, and how did you get it to work?
Lowest skill level, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'd say trainee or junior or
like
something.
This. Yeah, so we had this guy, I already talked about it, but we love him so much. He was a tester, and he became an iOS developer, and we had like a regular weekly lessons with him. Our former team lead had, not me, and yeah, so we was basically training our tester to become a developer, and yeah. And how did you get it into work? Yeah, the lessons. We just pouring knowledge into him. And of course he had the drive. He wanted to learn, so that's the main thing.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, for us it's the same. We have a junior, which is a very great drive. He's really eager to learn. So basically, weekly lessons or weekly face-to-face meetings help him guide through the pool of knowledge. That's the answer. Junior and weekly lessons.
Yeah, it's actually funny. We have the same guy that Future has. Maybe it's the same guy. And he was a tester. He worked for quite a while with us as a great tester, and then he wanted to become an iOS developer. Philip actually was his mentor for a while. Then I took over, and again we had a weekly sessions, and now he's a meter, and we're super happy to have him. So Valerie, if you're watching, shout out to you.
Nice one. So the last question from me is going to be whether you have any management tips. Like, how do you manage your team? And you can think about that for a while, because it's a hard question. It's an open one.
Yeah, I would say our trick is trying to bring people together as much as we can. So not only having developers in their different teams based on projects, but also like creating a team of the developers on the company basis. So we are trying to have like meetings where we present like new stuff we want to learn, and we are trying to watch dub together and like kind of like build the iOS community so that people know each other in the team and are willing to help each other and are not afraid to fail in front of each other.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. So yeah, it's basically not separate the team. It's like pushing the people together and spend the time together. Yeah, like watching dub, or I don't know. We have once a week. We have not shared. We have a lunch together. We watch some session online. We learn from it. Also team meetings, team beers, team activities outside the work. Yeah, really building the team and not separating each member of the team.
Yeah, I think everything has been said. To care about the people and to be like more than colleagues. That's something that I want to do. So that's something that I wanted to add. And I don't know, maybe what hasn't been said. Organizing hackathons, for example, that's a good thing. So yeah. We do some pair programming and stuff like that. That's also helpful in some situations. So yeah, nothing else to add.
Thank you very much. A beautiful answer. I was wondering how I would answer this question, and well, I have a bit different view. And always my tip is like never forget about having regular retrospectives, because that's. If someone has a problem, that's most probably the place when it will come up, and yeah, don't. But it's basically the same, caring about your team. Yeah. Okay, so you guys have done a terrific job at finishing my questions, but there's I think 5 more questions on the stream right now. And I think that this shouldn't be here, I think. It should be... Well, never mind. I'll tell you the questions, because I have it in front of me. By the way, anyone can ask, and you can also vote for the questions, and those with most votes will be up on the list. So the first one is, what was your biggest fuck-up as an iOS developer? Well, you don't have to vote for the questions, it's okay. Or if you want to ask the questions, you have the microphone, so it's...
Yeah, I think it's the very basic thing to every developer to over-engineer something. Like you give the estimates, this is gonna take 8 hours, and after 20 hours you have like nothing to show to the client, nothing to show to the team. You have no excuse for it, and basically you have to take the responsibility for it and learn from it. That's something I know from my experience, to over-engineer something.
It's a really interesting point, because it's not my experience, but the other founder of Applifting, Vráťa, he got his GitHub access revoked for exactly opposite reason, that he under-engineered things. He was able to make like truly elaborate prototypes in a few hours, and then he would just show it to the team, and like you will do it this way, and it's okay, it's not hard, you'll just do it. It demotivates the team, so he got it revoked. Okay, this is interesting. We are getting the questions here as well, but I have different questions here, so I'll just somehow do it. Never mind. Okay. Any more fuck-ups?
Maybe the biggest fuck-up was when I nuke all the distribution certificates for the whole company. Yeah, so I think it's a pretty usual thing. You just hit nuke and it's like, do you really want to do it? I said, for sure. And yeah.
Okay, thanks. Michal? No fuck-ups? Or no fuck-ups you would like to share?
Nothing I can think of at the moment.
We know there were some.
Just the usual stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So another question related perhaps to the first topic, which was the seniority and how you yourselves view yourself as a developer. So how do you prioritize your tasks/responsibilities? How do you prioritize?
Well, usually for me it's the people first, so I'm always trying to take care of the team first, and then I'm focusing on my sprint tasks. So we usually use Scrum for everything, so we have a sprint goal, and then there's the priority is pretty standard there. Yeah, but essentially it's always to make sure that everybody at the team is fine, everybody can work on their tasks. I'm not blocking anybody, but yeah, sometimes this takes quite a long time.
Just a question, how do you get that together with the leadership responsibilities? Because those take time as well, right?
Sure, but it's kind of like part of the leadership responsibilities, I would say.
Okay.
Like taking care of the team. Yeah, but then of course, what I have to do quite often is like create some focus blocks and then really like block out the time, shut down Slack and just do some work.
Now that's a useful tip.
Yeah, for me it's the same, people first, and to create the focus blocks. That's really, really helpful. Shut down Slacks, also notifications, that's also true. Yeah, and then you have to take care of the biggest fire you have. So that's the priorities there.
Yeah, so basically what has the closest deadline has the priority. No, but you always have to consider the work that the amount of work that you need to put in. So you are trying to estimate this thing, and estimation, and then looking on the deadline and try to squeeze it in.
Okay, thanks. Going on to the next question, which is one upvote, contrary to these three without upvotes, is what are the newest technologies you use in your projects? What are the ones you'd like to use?
Yeah, so at Futures we use SwiftUI already on several production projects. So this is like, I think, a new technology that you can pick up, and it's the newest one. We always trying to focus on the newest technology. So async await, so the concurrency, we already are using it on one project. So yeah, always the newest ones. We are trying to always pioneer the way.
Yeah, so for us this is kind of the other way around, because we are a lot in the banking business. So there's a lot of UI kit that we use. We are slowly starting with the Swift UI. I don't think we have a production ready product with the Swift UI already, or maybe one. But this is something we're focusing on at the moment. Like, this is what we want to focus on more. Is definitely Swift UI, and yeah, we mostly use reactive Swift. So again, Combine is one of the things we want to use more. But yeah.
I think we are somewhere in between. We have some very legacy projects when we have UI kit. Also, we use reactive Swift, so we have to take care of this project, maybe move it to or migrate reactive Swift to Combine. Also, we try to start the newest projects with Swift UI and Combine. maybe some composable architecture. That's something really cool. And yeah, we always try to determine if the SwiftUI is the right technology for that project based on the design we have, based on the requirements from the client. And yeah, right now we are 100% sure that we made the right choice choosing SwiftUI on the newest project. But yeah, until it's in production and the client is happy and all the people that use the app are happy, then we don't know for sure that we chose the right that we made the right decision. So yeah, it's somewhere in between these two guys.
Thanks a lot. So I have 2 more questions here, but there is a question with 4 upvotes right there. So can you tell us what is your pay range for each level? Junior, mid, senior. Please be as specific as possible. And I understand if you don't want to say, so just like keep the silence if you don't want to answer, and they will have to just find out by replying to your posting.
So silence is the answer. Okay.
Sure. Respect that.
Well, I guess I can let you in on our secret, which is not a secret. So for us, the hourly rate for a junior is like 207 crowns at the moment. For a meter, it's like 375, and for a senior, it's 525. This is I'm pretty certain about the senior.
Yeah, I think it's the junior and media got bumped, but the senior you got that one right, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's correct.
Yeah, sure. Patrik, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I just said if you want to know, write us. We will discuss that.
Perfect. Okay, so another question with an upvote is, what's the best way how to boost productivity in team?
So have a beer in the office. Sometimes it helps.
Sorry, it's boost.
I think that's the responsibility of the team leader. You have to be the first one that's productive, and then the team follows. So from my point of view, you have to take care of yourself, and then you can boost the productivity in your team by showing them how it's done.
Yeah, I would say what's pretty crucial for me personally is a good Scrum setup. So if you have a good backlog, a good sprints, and if you know your why, not only how, so you can do a lot of things quickly, but if there doesn't matter, it doesn't even matter you did them quickly. So
thanks. So I've got another question here, and I believe we already answered. How do you have any objective measure of the seniority in your company? Got answered, I think. So can you imagine being hired as a junior again in the future? If you don't understand the question, it's okay. I have slight doubts about it as well, but...
Like me personally being hired as a junior, maybe if I would become a junior cook in a restaurant, then I can imagine that. Like when I'm I have too much code in my life, then I will just take my knives and I will start as a junior in a restaurant.
Yeah, if someone who asked the question could rephrase it, I think we would appreciate that. Any more remarks?
Yeah, same for me. If you go into different industry away from code, then that's possible, I think.
But if the question would be if I would wish to be a junior now instead of when I was a junior, then the answer would be hell yes, because now I would have a mentor. I would get paid for learning stuff. There would be people helping me. It would be pretty amazing, actually.
Okay.
Yes, I can imagine that I would switch my profession to something else, and either a technical or non-technical. So I can imagine being a junior again in some other field.
Okay, thanks. And that about covers questions I have here. So let's just look at the thing. So have you started experimenting with Kotlin multi-platform? And I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Yes, we have. We have it on Well, first of all, we started internally. We did a hackathon for it, and we had some results. It's, for me, it's the best thing right now, which is going on in multiple platform world. And we are experimenting with it. We have it on one project. We created a separate hardware library, so we again jumped in pretty deep, and it worked, and it is working, and we are trying to experiment it even more. So yeah.
Thanks.
We are right now researching the topic. So since Kotlin is Android specific language, it's language for the Android. So Android guys is right now researching the topic, the whole multi-platform field of creating apps. So you cannot, like, I can't give you any info about it. So it's not in my knowledge right now. I'm not researching it.
Yeah, we really like the idea, and there was one case where we were thinking about using it. There was some pretty complex logic, and we were thinking like, well, we can write it once, we can write super nice set of tests for it, and then we can just reuse it. But the binary for the Kotlin we would have to include in the iOS app was like too big for us at the time, so that was what stopped us. But I think it's could be a pretty nice approach.
Okay, thanks. And I think that as we are approaching the end of the scheduled slot, I'll have two more questions, and then we'll wrap up. So please vote. And the question I have right here is, no one mentioned motivation. I'm sorry, I didn't. How do you motivate your team?
You have to find the right buttons to push. So I have a colleague which is really money motivated. So if you increase his salary, he's really motivated to work. Others are really focused on the technology part of the project. So if you give them like very technical projects, they're really like, running reds in the circle.
Yeah,
really enjoy that time.
Lukáš,
Yes?
let me stop you right there. Could you be more specific? How would you know? How would you get to that information? How would you get to know
How to determine the technological or
No. How would you determine what's their driver?
ask them? I can ask them. I can see if I can be specific about the money guy. So if I can see that this person really tries to learn new stuff, new technology, always bringing something new to the team meetings, then I can see that he would like to work on it. I can ask him. Also, when there are people like with more soft skills than the hard skills, if they enjoy more talking to people, then I can give them some work with people, or that's it. Ask them and maybe observe them. Sometimes that helps.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think this is pretty great answer. What I would say about the motivation is I'm always trying to have a great relationship with my team, with each and every one of those people, and like really having one-on-ones, trying to spend as much time as you can with the team, and then you really know what they struggle with, what they need. Maybe somebody needs more money, maybe somebody needs more time for their hobbies, for their family, and we're always trying to motivate people in that way, because other than that, we have like pretty motivated people who really like iOS, really like the technology, really want to do programming, so we don't have to like motivate them to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everything has been said, but it's really similar in our company. We try to find the spot where the person feels comfortable and try to encourage it to be there. So one-on-one meetings, ask the question. Usually it's like the intersection of an interest with the application. So if he's building something for himself, the person is really more motivated. Somebody don't really care about it, somebody really cares about it. It's the main thing. So that's maybe how we try to motivate the people, giving them what they want.
Great question. Great answers, guys. Great answers. Anyway, so the last question, I have several here without any upvotes, but I'll choose one. And I think that the most interesting one is, is it hard to start as a junior only remotely? Do you recruit remote juniors? What do you think about on-site and remote juniors?
I think it is hard. It's not impossible, but it is hard. And we right now don't have any remote juniors. And I don't think that we ever had some remote juniors. But it's not because we don't want them, but I'm not sure about this. I'm not really sure about this. I don't want to mispass somebody. But it's not impossible, but it's really hard. It's really hard. I think the contact with the person in the office, or if the person just want to ask something, it's really easier if they approach you directly and in person than if they wrote you or have calls or something like that. So yes, I think it's not impossible, but really hard to do, and it's always better for the person and for the company if the junior is in the office at least sometime. You don't have to be there every day, but at least sometime.
Thanks.
I can widen the answer to we don't hire a remote. For the juniors, it's really hard to grow somewhere without being in the office. It's really hard for us. It's really hard for them, and our hiring strategy is to hire someone that's gonna be in the office with us. That's gonna help the team. We can help him, and yeah, it's really the spirit of the people, the company spirit. We really need someone who's gonna be with us and is gonna enjoy his time with us. So we don't hire remotes right now. So we don't need them.
Yeah. Actually, the story that I told you before about a tester who became an iOS developer, this all happened remotely, 100%. But there is a catch, of course. This guy already worked with us for several years before he moved away from Prague, and now he lives about like 8-9 hours from Prague. So it's pretty tricky for him to come to the offices. So this all happened remotely. But I would say like for a completely new person, this would be like super tricky, because I can teach anybody the knowledge over FaceTime, but they don't become the part of the team usually. They don't feel the culture. They don't understand us. We do not become usually friends. We are colleagues, but we don't have the connection. So full remote is super hard, but yeah, if the person would be willing to come at least once or twice a month, then I think that would be possible.
Okay, Lukáš wants to add something, I guess.
Yeah, I would like to add one thing. One of my colleagues, he's going to the Prague each day, and he's going from Plana near Mariánské Lázně. He travels 2.5 hours to the Prague, then 2.5 hours back to home each day, every month, every year, and he's been with us for, I think, 3 years. He's happy, and that's something we are looking for. This mindset, this like.
I might be overstepping here, but did you pay him for the trip?
No.
I expected as much. We wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing story. Truly amazing and unbelievable, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is what loyalty looks like, and also he enjoys the time with us. So he doesn't care if he travels to 2 or 3 hours to Prague. He just enjoys the time with us. So yeah, that's like the spirit.
And he still didn't tell you about his mistress in Prague.
No.
Okay. Yeah, great.
That's something like.
I mean, thank you very much. I think this is an amazing end to our discussion here. So I would just like to ask you here for a giant applause for Patrik, Lukáš, and Michal, because they did a really great job answering all my naggy questions. And thank you guys. I hope you had at least a tiny bit of fun, because I had plenty. And I hope to see you here again, because it was amazing, and we should talk about something completely different next time. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so the bar is open. There are some snacks as well. So enjoy your evening, and try to ask them some of your questions on your own, especially those which weren't answered, because those are most interesting. People on the stream, have a good night, whatever you are planning, and have a wonderful evening, and see you all very soon in person, I hope.